After 60, one fall can change everything. Not because your body is weak, but because no one ever showed you how to walk for the body you have now. More than 1 in 3 Canadians over 65 falls each year. Over half of them fall again within 12 months. And the shocking part, most of these falls happen not on icy sidewalks or stairs, but on flat ground, at home, in daylight. Why? Because the way we walk, how we step, how we turn, how we shift weight, quietly becomes outdated as we age, and no one warns us until it's too late. But here's the good news. There are small science-backed changes to how you move that can restore your stability without fancy equipment or hours of exercise. And today we'll walk you through exactly how. It usually begins subtly. You might notice that turning around suddenly feels strange, or that your foot catches the edge of a rug that's been there for 20 years. Maybe you feel a strange wobble when stepping off the curb. Not enough to fall, but enough to remind you something's different. The truth is, your body isn't failing. It's adapting, but it needs the right signals to do so. Because balance isn't just one thing. It's a full body conversation between your muscles, joints, eyes, ears, and nerves. And as we age, that conversation starts breaking down. Let's talk about the science, briefly but clearly. After 60, 3 things quietly shift beneath the surface. First, muscle loss. You lose up to 1% of muscle mass per year after age 60. That affects your legs, yes, but also your hips and core, the very muscles that keep you upright. Second, joint stiffness. The ankles and hips lose range of motion, making your steps shorter, flatter, and harder to correct mid-stride. And third, the nervous system slows down. The little delays in brain-to-muscle signals mean your body doesn't react as quickly to keep you upright when you slip, twist, or miss a step. These changes don't happen all at once. They creep in gradually until one day your body hesitates, and your confidence does too. A retired farmer from Saskatchewan once told me, "It's not that I fell, it's that I realized I didn't know how to catch myself anymore." That stuck with me. One of the most overlooked changes? Stride width. As balance becomes more fragile, your body narrows your stance automatically. It feels safer, but ironically it makes you less stable, like walking on a tightrope instead of a solid path. That's why therapists sometimes retrain gait by widening the base again, small steps, slightly farther apart, like on railroad tracks. A woman I spoke to from Prince Edward Island said her balance changed dramatically after learning to walk wide. Her physiotherapist had her practice walking along masking tape lines placed a few inches apart on her kitchen floor. It felt silly, she admitted, but within 2 weeks, I stopped grabbing the wall. If this is your first time hearing that your step width could affect your fall risk, type stride in the comments. It might help others feel less alone. Another common issue? The disappearing arm swing. Watch children or young adults walk. They swing their arms naturally. That motion helps balance every step. But with age, pain, stiffness, or caution make many of us clamp our arms down by our sides. That might feel safer, but it's the opposite. It takes away the counterbalance your body relies on. A man in Ottawa told me he began swinging his arms again on purpose during walks after a fall. It felt awkward at first, he said, but I stopped wobbling. This isn't about looking younger, it's about moving smarter. The body remembers how to support itself, if you let it. So tonight, when you stand up to get a glass of water, pay attention. Are your arms moving? Or are you locking them? That small choice can make a big difference. Most people don't realize how much we depend on our eyes to stay balanced, until those eyes start lying to us. After 60, depth perception starts to decline. That's why patterned rugs, glossy tiles, or shiny hardwood floors can become dangerous. The brain sees an edge or a shadow and misjudges it as a step, or misses a real step altogether. In one case, an elderly woman in Nanaimo tripped while stepping from her hallway rug to the hardwood floor. Why? Her eyes didn't properly register the change in surface height due to subtle lighting and poor contrast. The solution wasn't removing the rug, it was adding contrast tape and improving lighting near floor transitions. Lighting, in fact, is one of the most powerful tools you have. Experts recommend a minimum of 300 to 500 lumens in hallways and bathrooms for seniors. That small upgrade can literally prevent a fall. So next time you walk through your home, ask yourself, can I see the floor clearly? Everywhere. If you've ever had a strange near fall in your own home, especially in familiar places, share your story in the comments. It might show others how much of this is environmental, not just physical. Here's a scary fact. 30% of senior falls happen during a turn, not while walking straight, not while climbing stairs, but during that simple moment when you change direction. Why? Because turning requires coordination between your eyes, neck, spine, and feet, all in a split second. But aging changes how fast you can coordinate those systems. Add in joint stiffness, inner ear decline, and slower reflexes, and you have the perfect storm. That's why fall prevention therapists now teach a method called stop, turn, go. It means you stop fully before pivoting, then turn with both feet, never twisting your spine alone. One gentleman from Thunder Bay said it saved his independence. I fell twice in the bathroom, just turning. Since I started the stop, turn, go, I haven't fallen in 3 years. If this is something you've never been taught, let us know in the comments with "turn safe." You might be surprised how many others are turning the wrong way too. But movement isn't just about direction. It's also about what your eyes focus on while you walk. In fact, one of the most effective walking cues for seniors is learning to look farther ahead, not down at your feet. When you stare down while walking, it limits your visual horizon, reducing how your brain anticipates movement and disrupting balance signals from the vestibular system. A physiotherapist in Halifax once told me, if a person learns to lift their gaze just 6 to 8 feet ahead, their posture improves instantly. We tried it with a group of seniors during a balance workshop. The difference was immediate. Taller stance, longer steps, smoother gait. Try this the next time you walk down your hallway. Instead of watching your feet, focus your eyes gently ahead, where you're going. Let your neck relax. Let the body follow the gaze. And when you master that, you're ready for one final adjustment, one that ties it all together. Because walking isn't just physical, it's rhythmic. That's why learning to match your steps to your breath is such a powerful practice. This isn't meditation, it's regulation. By syncing movement with breathing, inhale, step, exhale, step, you engage your parasympathetic nervous system, calm fear signals, and reduce freezing or hesitation. One retired nurse from Kelowna told me this technique helped her stop feeling rushed when walking alone. "I don't panic anymore," she said. "I just walk with my breath." Even a slow 5-minute practice can rewire the body's sense of timing. And just like that, walking becomes not only safer, but more peaceful. You know what most people tell me after a fall? They don't talk about the pain. They talk about the embarrassment, the fear, the sudden sinking doubt. What if I'm not safe anymore? What if this means I can't live alone? One woman, Margaret, in Edmonton, told me after her fall she didn't go out for 3 months. "It wasn't the bruise," she said. "It was the way my daughter looked at me afterward, like I was already fading." And that's the deeper wound, isn't it? We're not just trying to prevent injury, we're trying to preserve dignity, confidence, the right to walk through the world without feeling fragile. That's why these tricks, these changes, they matter. Because the goal isn't perfection, it's possibility. It's waking up each day and knowing your body still listens, that you still have power in your step. So tonight, when you make your way to the kitchen, walk a little slower, widen your stance, let your arms swing gently, feel your feet connect to the ground. Balance doesn't live in the gym. It lives in moments like that, moments you can reclaim quietly on your own terms. Have you had a moment recently where you noticed your balance had changed? What helped, or what are you still figuring out? Share with us below. And if something in today's video spoke to you, maybe consider joining us here on Comfort Corner. We're building a space where stories like yours matter, where movement is healing, and aging isn't something to fear, but something to walk through together.